Beautiful people, it's yours truly, Tammy B, coming to you with another session of Real Talk with Tammy B and Company, the show where we are recording live so that you amazing people can engage with us via the YouTube chat. So, if you are watching via another platform and want to engage in our conversation, please jump on over to YouTube at That's a Woman, THASSAWOMAN, so that you can be part of the conversation. And if you are on YouTube, please, sir, please, ma'am, feel free to interact with us throughout the conversation. And I want to give you guys a heads up. Representative Jackson is having some technical difficulties. He was here, but he kept freezing. And we weren't able to hear him. So he's working that out. So he should be jumping back on at any moment. So I know a lot of people wanted to hear from him. So he was here, but we trusting that he'll be back soon. But in the meantime, before we get started, I want to ask, if you are not part of our community, please consider joining us by subscribing, as we are here weekly at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with new content. Also, if you enjoy our conversation, please support us by clicking the like button and or sharing this video with others. Also, to the men, yes, the men, Saturday, August 1st, discount early bird tickets are still going on for 8 more days. We will be having our men's only official transformational conference, Pause, Breathe, Bro, You Matter, which is a safe space, mental health space for brothers to come together to talk about life and those things that they tend to hold in, that they talk about, probably don't talk about, but need to. So we created a safe space for them to come together and hear from powerful, dynamic speakers. And so, as always, I do want to say I am so grateful for you amazing people being here with us this evening. I'm super excited about tonight's conversation, as I'm excited about all of our conversations. But we have some special guests with us this evening. And so, before I introduce my first special guest, I want to acknowledge my peeps, my man, Mr. Shelly Sims, who is our resident realtor. Good evening, Shelly. You're muted.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hello, everybody. Hello, Judge. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to stick with Judge. I don't want no trouble. I want no trouble.
Listen, Shells.
Hello. Hey, Tim.
Shells. We have been talking, but I was about to mess it up because I was about to say Nyla. I'm thinking Lion King, so I was about to mess it up. So I'm glad I asked right before we got started. Good evening, B. Campbell Nails. Thank you for joining us. And so also we have my girl, the queen herself, Dr. Maya Harold, who is our advocate for people in the domestic violence space. Good evening, Dr. Maya.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing this evening? Everybody good?
We are simply amazing, Judge, and you're still muted. You are still okay. All right, when you're ready. All right, so I am going to introduce our judge of the hour. Again, Representative Jackson, we're hoping his technical difficulties get resolved. But in the meantime, we have special guest, Judge
Naelia McFarland.
Yes. We see you, Rep.
Okay, good.
But can we hear you? Say something.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Hey! All right, there we go.
I had to recruit my wife. She brought in her Wi-Fi. We got our phone hotspots. Tammy B. She like, we're gonna be on Tammy B tonight.
Yes, tell the queen I said thank you. I appreciate her.
Yeah.
Look, that's what I
Tammy
say
B said
behind
thank you.
every good man.
Yes.
You already know the rest.
Mhm.
All right, so I was just introducing this lovely queen out of Fayette County, Judge Mahalia with an N.
That's right.
Grant McFarland, who is a candidate for state court judge in Fayette, Georgia. Good evening again, Judge McFarland.
Good evening. Good evening. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you all, and I'm looking forward to our discussion.
It is a pleasure to have you, and so am I. And coming in the clutch, we have State Representative Georgia House District 68 candidate for governor. See, I should be the one to introduce you at your platform, sir.
Listen,
Hold on, look, I got
I got my campaign manager. She's listening right now, so we'll put you on payroll, Tammy.
Hey, here I am. Listen, Hillary is my girl, so I already know. So listen, we have candidate for governor of the state of Georgia, Representative Derek Jackson. Good evening, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Tammy B. Thank you so much, Dr. Harold and let me see, and Brother Sims. And it's always good to be with my sister from another mother. She's a member of the same sorority that my wife is a part of. And so it's great to be with you all this evening.
Great to have you. Great to have you. And what sorority is that, might I ask?
Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
All right, Delta. Hey. In fact, I just saw members of your line at the Kappa party, the Kappa masquerade ball a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're
you guys,
everywhere.
exactly. You all definitely had representation there. So, oh my gosh, thank you and welcome to you both. Charles Adams in the chat. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in with us. So, let me tell you guys a little bit about our candidates. I'm going to start with Judge McFarland. Her background. She has lived in Fayette County with her family for the past decade and has built a career defined by fairness, accountability, and integrity in the justice system. She is a wife and the proud mother of a FCHS graduate and two current FCHS students. She began her legal career as an assistant district attorney in Fulton County, where she prosecuted felony cases and developed extensive courtroom and trial experience. In 2007, she founded the law firm of Grant and Associates LLC, where she represented clients in criminal defense, personal injury, and family law. This work provided firsthand insight into the real life impact judicial decisions have on individuals, family, and the community. Appointed to the bench in 2014, Judge McFarland has served in municipal, magistrate, state, and juvenile courts, and by designation in Superior Court. Her experience presiding over a wide range of cases has strengthened her reputation for fairness, sound judgment, and respect for the rule of law. Having served as a prosecutor, defense attorney, and civil litigator, y'all, I guess I'm nervous tonight because I'm just excited. Litigator and Judge McFarland brings a rare breadth of courtroom experience and a balanced, well-rounded perspective to the bench. She remains deeply committed to her community and civic engagement, actively serving in professional and community organizations while working to strengthen public trust in the justice system. Welcome again, Judge McFarland.
Thank you so very much. And just for people who don't know, that was Fayette County high school graduates and current members. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, for your county, represent. I got to get back down to your county. There's a lovely lady down there who pastors a church who I just think is simply amazing, a mutual friend of ours that I am going to be shouting out at the end. So I definitely got to get back down to Fayette County. And next up, we have Derek Jackson, who is a state representative for Georgia's 68th district. He is a 22-year Navy veteran, a candidate for governor of Georgia in the 2026 Democratic primary. His campaign is driven by a deeply personal mission. He is committed to leading the state in its charge to overcome the state's maternal mortality crisis, one of the worst in the nation. Representative Jackson is running to address healthcare access, reproductive justice, maternal mortality, voting rights, and economic opportunity for all Georgians. He is committed to centering Black women's health care and ensuring that no family has to endure the pain that his family has experienced. Which, Representative Jackson, if I would like to circle back to that comment, if it's okay, so we get clarity on that situation to understand. And then he is also a community leader with deep roots in Georgia. Welcome again, Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Tammi B, for having us this evening. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you. We are looking forward to it as well. Okay, I know we got started a little late, but guys, I got to give you all your mental health tip of the day. I am a huge mental health advocate. I cannot leave you guys without your tip for today. So, our mental health tip of the day: go somewhere you've never been. It doesn't even have to be big. It can be as simple as taking a different route home, trying a new coffee shop, or exploring a part of your city that you've never noticed before. When you shift your environment, you shift your energy. Breaking out of a routine helps you reset your mind, sparks creativity, and reminds you that there is more out there than what you see every day. So give yourself permission to be curious, as new scenery can bring fresh new perspective and unexpected inspiration. It can even give you a sense of calm, sense of peace that you didn't know you needed. So sometimes even the smallest change in direction can lead to the biggest breakthroughs. So that is our mental health tip of the day. And then I was going to skip our little fun food fact for today, but today is Earth Day. So I have to circle back. I wanted to acknowledge that, which we know Earth Day is an annual event set to celebrate it to promote environmental awareness, sustainability, and protection for our planet. This started in 1970 and serves as a reminder to combat climate change, reduce pollution, and protect natural resources. It also engages over a billion people in 190 countries. And also, April is Earth Month, which extends the day through the entire month. So this is a time for us to be mindful, recycle, do something good for the planet. And so to add the little fun food fact for the day, okay, so Judge and Rep, every day of the year has a little quirky food day. And so today's quirky food day is Jelly Bean Day. Today, today is National. I know. See, that's why I share it, because it makes you smile.
Okay.
Google it. It's the craziest thing. So I just bring a little humor.
The other day was Banana Day, Tammy B. So I love bananas, but jelly beans.
Yeah. What
I
about
haven't had
those
jelly
black
beans in a
ones?
while.
What about the black ones?
I know.
Not a fan.
It's got to be red. It's got to be red.
Gotta be
jelly
red.
beans.
Cherry.
What'd you say, Judge?
Gotta be cherry.
Gotta be cherry. Exactly. That's the one with the most popping flavor.
That's right.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. So our icebreaker question before we jump into our talk, which we're getting ready to do. And to the viewers, if you are in a position to type, you guys see I'm looking at the chat, so I'm looking at both. Answer this question for me. If you could give one person a Walk of Fame star in your life, who would it be? If you could give one person a Walk of Fame star in your life, who would it be?
Is that me first or?
Sure, go right ahead.
All right. If
Ladies first. I'm an alpha. You know, ladies are always first.
I had to make sure, sir. All right. So I would give my mother, the star. Absolutely, hands down. She has been the rock of our family, or me, in so many ways you not ever know. And so she absolutely gets the star from me.
Love it. Love it. Well, since they're saying ladies first, Dr. Maya.
Of course, my mom. No brainer. My mom.
Love it. Anything you want to add to it? Any highlight to specify the why?
Just for her resilience, for her being a great mother, as well as single mother in my later years. Just, she always shows up, no matter what. She shows up, and that's enough.
That is amazing. Amazing. All right. So which one of you gentlemen want to go first?
Go ahead, Shelly.
Shelly, you must be muted.
Oh shoot, I am. I was trying to think, but it's because there's been so many people in my life that have guided me and steered me. But I'm gonna have to give it to my daughter, my youngest, because boy, there's many times when I was finna jump off that ledge and she sure talked me out of it. So
No.
yeah, I gotta give it to her.
Mia.
Give me a reason to keep moving, you know, all that good stuff. To stay on the straight and narrow.
Hey, I love that. And Judge and Rep, Shelly is a single father, so he raised his daughter by himself. And his son. You have a son too, right,
Yeah.
Shelly?
Yeah, my son.
Yeah, he
Awesome.
26
so
years
hats
now.
off
Wow.
Yeah.
to him on that. Nice.
Wow.
Love it, Shells. Love it.
Well, I'm gonna do a combination, Tammy B. I would say my mother, because she gave me life, and she didn't have to, but she did. And when I was in the first or second grade, I had a horrible speech impediment, and it was my mother and my first grade teacher that helped me get through it. And so you couldn't tell that today, but I was just crushed because I just could not get through and articulate my thoughts in the manner in which I did. But she was the one that encouraged me. And then I would have to also uplift my three daughters, Taylor, Tamara, and Trinity, because when my first wife died, that I was with for 31 years, those three right there, man, I didn't know what it was like to be a widow for 2 years. So taking care of these three amazing daughters of mine, and as you stated, we'll get to it. But man, they stepped right in. They gave me the hope and the inspiration and the resilience, because they were like, Dad, we get it. You were with Mom for 31 years. You lost someone, but God's going to bless you with another amazing woman, and he did. And so I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but I have to give it to my mom and my 3 daughters, Taylor, Tamara, and Trinity.
Love that. Oh my gosh, I got chills. Oh my gosh, I love these responses. Okay, so Corporate T, good evening, Corp. My brother, he, I'm gonna read it as I'm seeing it, y'all. He ain't got no kids, but his girl got 3. So, all right, I love that. I love that. And then B.
Yeah, that means
Campbell.
he got 3 kids in.
Exactly. So, look, that's why he get the Walk of Fame star, because he have 3 kids. Exactly. Love it. Stepping in. That's what's up. And then B. Campbell Nails, mom, for her strength, grace, perseverance, and ability to love unconditionally, amongst many other reasons. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So for me, if I were to answer that question, it would actually be my grandmother. Although I believe both of my grandmothers to be extremely strong women, I had more time in my adult life with my dad's mom. And knowing the work that she did and the things she went through allowed me to appreciate her all the more before she transitioned. So she would be definitely be the one to hand the star out to. And also, I want to add to that the city of Delray Beach, Florida, last night approved her husband's name to go on the street that I was pretty much raised in Delray. So they're getting ready to name North 12th Avenue in Delray Beach, Florida, after L.C. Weatherspoon Sr. So this was just approved last night. So that's a huge win for my family. So super, super excited for that activity getting ready to take place. So yes. All right. Ooh, we got this done at the top of the hour. So it's 8:00. So we're gonna jump in. So what I want to do first, so we're gonna do this in a round robin fashion. I'm gonna definitely go between the both of you. But I like to start with a video, and this particular video here was I'm gonna let you guys see for yourself, and I want your opinion, because it seems like Democrats lately, in Representative Jackson, with you running for Democrats have been getting a bad rap, and so therefore I wanted you to hear this video, and I wanted to get your opinion on it before we go ahead and jump in. So let me share my screen. Okay. Let me start. I'm gonna start.
$1,000 will pay $0 in federal taxes, and every single Democrat in the House and the Senate voted against that provision. We also increased the child tax credit to $2,200 and made it permanent, and every single Democrat voted against it. We created Trump investment accounts for every new child born in America, $1,000 seed money to transform their life, and every single Democrat voted against it. They are the taxing party. They are not the party about affordability. They're not the party about working families. The working families tax cut, a family.
All right, that one was a tough one, but what you got for us, Judge? Either one of you guys, or what? I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that video.
I want Representative Jackson to go first. I think this is more in his warehouse.
I agree.
You know, Tammy. No, thank you, my dear friend. Thank you, Judge. Tammy, this is strictly out of the Republican playbook. They can make the sky. We can tell everybody the sky is blue. Then they'll turn around and say, "Hey, y'all, the Democrats are saying the sky is green." Now, first of all, we ain't say the sky was green. We know the sky is blue. So they know how to very well market sound bites to make it sound misguided in terms of legislation. I can guarantee you that if the Democrats voted no, there was something else in that legislation, Tammy, that was more poisonous to working families. Let me give you a perfect example. The big, beautiful bill. Hey, y'all, it's a beautiful bill. This bill is so beautiful, Tammy. Listen, you and Shelly and Dr. Maya and Judge, y'all gonna love this big, beautiful bill. And we know this bill is beautiful because we're telling you it's beautiful until you read the fine print, where it's gonna negatively impact SNAP. That impacted us, Tammy. 644,000 children in Georgia could not get SNAP benefits because of this big, beautiful bill. Our senior citizens negatively impacted because this big, beautiful bill, we're seeing the worst transfer of wealth in the history of this country. They're going to rob Peter to pay Paul. They're going to take from our senior citizens and divert it into the top 1%. Because this is a beautiful bill. Trust me, it's so beautiful. You got to vote for it, Democrats, until you read the fine print, Tammy. And so this is strictly out of the Republican playbook, where they continue to tell us, don't believe your eyes or your ears. Just believe what we're telling you and just go ahead and vote for it. It's incredulous. And we got to stop this madness. The Republican Party are never been the party for the working families. The Republican Party never been about putting bootstraps on the least of these and helping us raise up. The Republican Party in the history has never been for us when it comes to making sure that the mandated services, healthcare, food, public education. Look what they're doing to the public education system, Tammy. They just removed $300 million from Georgia because of DEI. Because of DEI, but yet it's a big, beautiful bill. So as the young lady was doing in that video, in that clip, she was shaking her head, and I too shaking my head, because there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation, and Republicans know how to do it very well. They could tell us it's raining, but is it really rain that they're putting on us, or is it something else?
Good stuff. And I like what you. I'm loving what you're saying, and I just wanted it to not be a case. You know how they say where there's smoke, there's fire. So I love how you gave that to us. Maya, you getting ready to say something?
Yes. So how do you plan to advocate for the underserved and the marginalized communities if you should become governor?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Maya. So that's one of the reasons why I'm running, right? I witnessed this firsthand. My first wife developed breast cancer in 2014, and I watched how Georgia healthcare system refused to listen to Black women, and we don't have all the doctors and specialists in the areas in which we need to keep all women, but particular Black women, alive. And so as governor, those 82 counties out of 159 counties that you cannot find an OBGYN. Now think about this. The reason why Georgia is the worst when it comes to Black maternal health, because 159 counties, half of them you cannot find an OBGYN. So 3 years ago, 169 women died. If a plane crashed, Dr. Maya, with 169 on it, we will stop everything and figure it out, Tammy, and figure it out. So the next plane crash will not follow suit. But what did Georgia do, Dr. Maya? They kept on rolling. Oh, it's 169 women dying. And that same year, the children that they're trying to come into the world, within the first 12 months, 772 of them died because 67 counties, 67 out of 159 counties, you can't find a pediatrician. And for Shelly and I, where as we get older, we're going to need a urologist. Out of 159 counties, 110 counties, you can't find a urologist. That's why Black men are dying to prostate cancer. And so as governor, let me be absolutely clear, Dr. Maya, we not only have to expand Medicaid, bring those federal dollars back to our state that they've been holding since the Affordable Care Act has been legal. And those dollars, we got to bring them back to our state, but we can't stop there. Tammy, we got to make sure we have doctors in all 159 counties. Listen, my second wife, which I'll give a gold star to as well, she helped save my life. She is one as a legislator, and that's where we met. You know, love can be found in politics. But we met under the Gold Dome, and she was representing Albany, Georgia. The hospital where my wife was representing, that one hospital serviced over, she told me, over 42 counties. One hospital.
I was just down
Tammy,
there. You're correct.
If you need a hospital and you live 30, 40 miles away and time is of the essence, that one hospital only have nearly 700 beds. And so Albany is the reason why it was the hot spot during COVID. Dr. Maya, 40,000 people died in Georgia. Albany, Georgia was the hot spot in the United States.
And Albany. They're still dying from COVID.
And they're still dying. Yes, ma'am. They're still dying. And so as governor, the very first thing I got to tackle of my 5 priorities, number 1 is healthcare. We got to, if I can't keep us alive, Dr. Maya, the other 4 won't matter. So we got to stay alive. Healthcare is number 1. Affordability, as I've already alluded to, is number 2. Public education. And then, listen, when it comes to public education, we got to make sure we invest in that. And then we got to talk about our constitutional rights, right? And yeah, so that's what I would do. I mean, those are the 5 things I would do. Take care of our family, healthcare, affordability, education, and our constitutional rights.
What does affordability in healthcare looks like to you?
Hold on, Maya, hold on. Before, let us kind of go. Okay, let's go in between. I got you.
I'm ready. Dr. Maya leaned in, Tammy. She leaned in.
I know. Hold on a second, because I wanted to intertwine the judge into this conversation as well. So, and then Representative Jackson, that gives you a breathing moment too, because Maya has come in guns blazing for you.
She was leaning in.
So I can tell you, of course, my race is nonpartisan, so I will not take a position, one side or the other. But I will say that our voters need to be informed. So I am elated that Representative Jackson is taking the time to explain and make sure that people know the issues that are being, faced by so many. It's news to me to hear about Albany and the crisis that they are continuing to face. And so thank you for that information. But our voters need to be informed so that when they go to the polls, they're making the decisions based on information that is relevant and information that is going to help them as a state, as the state of Georgia continues to, act as a catalyst for our nation.
Absolutely. So, Judge, to that point, what inspired you to pursue your role as a judge?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I'll tell you, when I was a child, I grew up in a close community, and I had a childhood friend by the name of Omar. And Omar had big dreams, much like so many of us, to travel the world. He wanted to join the military, like Representative Jackson. He wanted to take care of his family ultimately and make sure that he provided for them, but he did not get an opportunity to do that because he was wrongfully convicted. And he was convicted because he didn't have proper representation and he did not have judicial protection. And so I grew up with a deep commitment to fairness, accountability, and service to my community. And so over a decade ago, my family, my husband and I, we moved to Fayette County with that in mind. You've already read and provided the viewers with the information in terms of my tenure as a 19-year trial attorney and a 10-year judge. With that experience, I have a 360-degree view or perspective, as some would call it, in the courtroom. I am familiar with every corner of the courtroom. And so I have real life experiences to bring to the bench to show that I understand what people go through and what people are facing when they encounter the court system. And so I want to make sure that that experience is fair, impartial, and it is not influenced by outside influencers, but it is grounded in fairness, grounded firmly in the law. I want to make sure that people are respected and treated with dignity, that they're being seen and heard when their matters are being presented to the court, and that the decisions that are made from the bench are consistent, not just helping or benefiting a select few, but everyone in our community as a whole.
Love that. Love that. Shelley, you have anything you want to add to anything you've heard thus far?
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, he will. He will. Don't let
Yeah,
it fool you.
you know I
Don't
gotta
let it
do.
fool
I
you.
just gotta listen.
Okay.
So how do you, Judge, how do you balance compassion and accountability when it comes to sentencing?
So thank you for that question. Understanding that accountability is holding people responsible and holding people, I guess, holding their feet to the fire when they've made a decision that is contrary to the law. The compassion comes in again with recognizing the real life effects of that decision from the bench. So understand this. I'm a former prosecutor where I handled cases as serious as murder, rape, child molestation, all the way down to, aggravated assaults, battery. And so I say that to say, I know how to use the full weight of the law to hold people accountable, have asked for and received as a prosecutor life sentences plus when they're appropriate. What I want to do as a state court judge here in Fayette County is build bridges instead of barriers. I want to make sure that people are held accountable, but that in the situations that are appropriate, they receive whatever benefit of intervention or alternatives to incarceration. Some people have drug addiction, alcohol addiction, mental illness, those things. I want to make sure that there are services provided to these people so that they can become productive citizens, so that the whole community can benefit from them being whole once they are done with the court system. I don't want them there year after year after year reporting and paying all of these fines and fees. I want them to come. I want their matter to be heard. I want us to administer justice, and then they go on with their lives, because I recognize there are costs associated with people having to be tied up in court year after year, wondering what the outcome of their case or their future is going to look like.
Thank you, because that was my next question.
Sure.
And you answered it. Yeah.
All right. So Going back to Representative Jackson, wow, this is some good stuff. So, Representative Jackson, I know your campaign is centered around maternal mortality. And what I want to take a quick second, I don't want to assume that everyone knows what that term is. Therefore, I want to offer up the definition for it. So, according to the World Health Organization, it is defined as the death of a woman during pregnancy, childbirth, and within 42 days of termination of pregnancy from any cause related to or aggravated by the pregnancy or its management, excluding accidental causes. Now, I know this is personal to you. I know I heard you mention losing your former spouse to breast cancer. But with your campaign, tell us about your personal connection to Georgia's maternal mortality crisis. And can you tell us about how these experiences shape your decision as well to run for governor?
Yeah. So, as a state representative, Tammy, you get to know your constituent. At least, let me make this personal, right? I get to know my constituents very well, right? When they see me.
Uh-oh, did he freeze?
He did.
Uh-oh, Representative Jackson. Uh-oh. Wifey, we need you. We need you. Okay, so we'll give him an opportunity to rejoin. So while we wait for him to come back, Judge, and then Maya, you can ask her the next question. He And he gonna put in a comment, he froze, or his wife put, he froze at the best part. So while we wait for him to return, Judge McFarland, what changes or improvements do you envision for the Fayette County State Court?
So one of the things that's on the top of my priority is reducing our backlog. I want to make sure that we implement practical, efficient, and professional ways to handle the cases that have been pending in the court in state court in particular, for 3, 4, 5, and I even met someone who indicated that their case had been pending for 6 years. So we want to make sure that we address those matters, bring them to court so that people can go on with their lives. That's one thing, one change that I intend to implement. The second thing is looking at the accountability courts that we have. We currently have Veterans Court, and we also have a DUI court. I'm going to certainly look at the data and determine why our success or graduation rates are what they are right now. I think that we should be able to graduate people more regularly or consistently than we are right now. And so I am going to look at the data. I'm going to speak to professionals that have been doing this for years. Of course, the accountability courts are not novel. They've been around for some time now. And we're going to implement what I consider to be accountability for everyone participating in the program. So it's going to be the participants, and it's also going to be the people that are running the program, to make sure that the participants are receiving the services that they need to be productive citizens, as well as the participants, identifying whatever issues they may have and making sure that they're being addressed so that the recidivist rate will decline and so that they can be productive citizens. So those are the two priorities that I have: addressing the backlog and improving our accountability courts.
I love that. Maya, did you want to add to that before I jump back over?
Sure. I make this one simple. Okay. How would you ensure that the courtrooms in Fayette County would be fair to people who feels intimidated or even unheard in the legal system?
Okay, so I will tell you that I've been practicing law for the last 19 years, and I don't know that you don't feel intimidated going into the courtroom. Even now, with the information and knowledge that I have, it is intimidating. The courtroom is intimidating. You don't know most times what your outcome is going to be. And so that could be you're nervous. You don't know what the other side is going to say or do. There's a number of factors. So I don't know that that goes away. But what I intend to be or to do is to make sure people are seen and heard. And I intend to be consistent so that everyone knows what to expect when they come into the courtroom. I'm going to respect people's time. I'm going to respect their position. And I'm going to see and hear each and every person that comes before me. I'm going to expect that the attorneys are going to be prepared. The litigants, if they are pro se, I'm going to explain in plain English, what the court requires, what they need to have in order to present their matter. And I am going to timely hear their case. Again, allowing them to go on with their lives, because I recognize the consequences of having matters pending before the court for years on end.
I love that. Yes, thank you for that. Okay, so Representative Jackson, Hillary made the comment. First of all, hey Cola, she acknowledged what an acknowledgement to have a street named after a man. That is awesome. Hillary said you froze at the best part. So are you able to rewind and pick up where you left off, sir?
Yeah, listen, tell Hillary I'm going to try to rewind. I'm not sure where I left off. Comcast, they're doing some fiber optics in our neighborhood, so I apologize, Tammy.
No worries.
But the part I was sharing, hopefully, where I think I left off, that you may have heard, that when some of my constituents become my best friends, and so if something happens traumatic in their family, it's like something happening traumatic in my family, and so their daughter ended up passing away. Simply trying to give birth. And so their daughter is the same age as my oldest daughter that I just walked down the aisle 3 weeks ago. And she's a pediatric surgeon dentist up in Chicago. And the sad part, Georgia just got an F- on women's health 4 weeks ago. And having a conversation with my oldest daughter, she was like, I like Chicago, but Dad, I don't think I need to come back to Atlanta because one day I want to give birth, and I don't want to lose my life simply trying to give birth. So when your own daughter, so it's one thing for a constituent daughter to pass away and you grieve, but when your own daughter doesn't want to live from where she's from, Tammy, that's personal. Right. And I'm sure Shelley and well, all of you can appreciate when you get feedback from your own child, the gravity of it, Tammy, is a little bit different, right? Because if it's someone else, they're like, okay, yeah, I get it. But when your own child says, and a doctor at that, saying, y'all need to get y'all stuff together, Dad, in Georgia. Too many women dying. And I don't want to be a statistic. That's a problem. And so I got to fix this. Not just because of my daughter, but for all of my constituents' daughter. Nobody's daughter should be dying simply trying to bring life into this world.
Right.
I can't do it. Shelley can't do it because God did not give us that responsibility. He gave that responsibility to you, Judge, and Dr. Maya. And so we got to do our part to make sure that this Black maternal health becomes something of the past. And I've been laser focused on this. That's the reason why I'm the only candidate. And it's not that because of my daughter. I mean, they got other men in this race have daughters too. But this thing hits me differently.
Right.
And that's the reason why I'm championing it in the manner in which I am doing, because it's the right thing to do. And I've been doing this for a long time. From the first time I got a peek on the inside, as I shared earlier, when my first wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, how Black women were being ignored. And then now it just, I mean, so that's why it's personal, Tammy. That's why it's personal, because we got to stop. We can stop this. Anytime our loved one's death certificate is stamped preventable death, that means it is preventable. Dr. Maya, that means it's preventable. A death certificate should never be stamped preventable. In 169 women, death certificate was stamped preventable. You don't get preventable death stamps when someone is diagnosed with cancer. But a pregnancy, something different.
Wow. And
I'm sorry.
Actually, to Dania Simone, I want to. Oh, she just retracted the message. Oh no, Queen, put it back. Put it back. I was just about to read it. Yeah, this is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking. And look, I know Shelly well enough. If Shelly's daughter said she wasn't coming back to Georgia, then we wouldn't be seeing Shelly in Georgia no more.
That's a fact.
And speaking of that, I do have a question, which is to both of you guys and gals. It pertains to the legal system as well as the medical field. We do know the disparities between white and Black sentencing for the same crime and survival rate of pregnancies. The disparities are so great. What is the goal to level the playing field when it comes to that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Shelly. So the best way is to make sure our counties and cities that are predominantly Black, again, going back to the example of my current queen, Camilla, when she was the state representative for 4 years, she was trying to tackle that down in Albany. Albany is predominantly Black. It's part of our Black belt, we call it. And so when you only have one hospital, a couple urgent cares, and no broadband to do telemedicine. So yeah, Shelly, we got to fix it. And so we got to divert those resources where predominantly Black and brown families reside. And nothing against, those who are Caucasian, but they may have 2 or 3 hospitals. They may have 10 urgent cares, right? So great, because I want to keep them alive too. But I can't leave Black families behind. We got to stop the statistics. So that piece that you're referencing, Shelly, we have the ability and the audacity and the capacity to change it. We just got to invest in it. There are 13 hospitals in rural Georgia right now, Shelly, that are on the brink of closing. And these families deserve something better, Tammy. These 13 hospitals, we got to keep them open. And then we got to invest and bring these doctors in there. And not just doctors, but midwives, doulas. A good friend of mine, former colleague, Representative Park Cannon. I learned so much about doulas and midwives these last 10 years. I mean, we got to bring all subject matter experts in this area who can help us remedy this pain and this hurt.
Absolutely.
Camille, I would close with this. Camille and I, my wife, we have a beautiful blend of 4 girls and 3 boys. Mm-hmm. She gave me the 3 sons I never had, Tammy. And so I look at my 7 children and my 4 daughters and 3 sons, they do some amazing things. But one of the things that we need to do, Shelly and Dr. Maya and Tammy, we got to make sure that we have a democracy for them. A democracy that's going to keep them healthy, a democracy that's going to give them a family quality of life that they all deserve, a democracy where affordability, where my 4 daughters can earn the same pay as my 3 sons.
Right.
There's no reason why my 4 daughters are earning 48 cents to $1, and they have the same education, same. So That's how I look at this. I look at this through the lens of my own family. I look at my beautiful wife, a former legislator. She's in corporate America. She's a mother. She's a wife. If multitask had a picture, it would have a face of Camilla, Tammy, and Dr. Maya and Judge, right? Because you all do it all. But for your pay not to be equal, that's a problem. When your qualifications, so I want my 4 daughters to have the same pay as their 3 brothers. And so that's what we got to fix. And it's not just equality, it's equity too, Tammy. They don't want to talk about equity. It's equality and equity. Again, I'm passionate about this because the other candidates are not talking about it. They're treating this like it's a popularity contest. And they just on a superficial level. And the judge, she sees it, right? Because she knows these other gubernatorial candidates who are running. And it's always at the surface. They don't go down deeper, Shelly. They don't get to that point where you're talking about, Shelly, and answer the question. I'm a black man. There's no guessing on that. So if I can't keep black men and black women and black families alive, what am I doing?
Wow. Love it. Judge, do you want to?
I don't know. I don't know that you come behind that.
Right? I mean, he addressed it to both of you guys, so I just want.
Let me say this. I do want to speak from a judicial perspective. I think how I can't combat, how I do away with the notion of any disparate treatment in Fayette County State Court is being consistent, remaining professional and efficient, treating each individual that comes into the courtroom the same. And so I've used this same analogy before. Because I am a wife, because I am a mother, a daughter, a sister, because I am in this community, you don't have to ask me to give or to do a favor in the courtroom. I'm going to do it because I live here. I'm going to do right by everyone. And so what that means is, and that's where the compassion comes in, because I recognize the effects of decisions made in court, I'm going to apply the law. But here's the thing, judges have discretion. And so what that means is I'm going to look at the case. I'm going to look at the person's record, and I'm going to consider everything within the 4 corners of the court. No outside influences, no outside relationships. I am going to, and the thing is, because I'm going to be fair with everyone, you're not going to have to ask me to do something special, because I am looking out for the individuals in the courtroom and our community as a whole. So as a former prosecutor, I certainly understand the weight of public safety. I live here. I want to be safe too. Right? As a defense attorney, I also understand that due process is due to everyone that is charged and has a case. I am not going to, because I can, have these extended probationary periods. Again, the discretion comes in if there's a case that's before the court, first time, non-violent or non-serious traffic matter. I'm going to look at it, and if it warrants it, the person is going to pay the fine and go on with their lives. If there is a moment or a circumstance where probation needs to be put in place, we're going to look at that, and it's going to be a reasonable amount of time. We're going to look at the fees, see if there's a fee scale that makes sense. If a person has demonstrated that they are unable to afford probation for circumstances outside of their control, we'll look at alternatives to that. So what I'm saying is, as a judge that has, again, have the experience of the 360 experience is what I will call it, all 4 corners of the courtroom, I'm going to be looking at that, and I'm going to bring that to the decision making in my everyday judging.
I love that. I want to acknowledge Katrina in the chat. Accountability, love it. Now, Judge, as you're thank you for that, Queen. As you're talking, a couple weeks ago we had a gentleman that was pardoned by the Virginia governor on here, and one of the things that came out of the conversation was a video that I played, whereas it was talking about how some states are being sued because the prison by private prison owners because they are not feeling giving them a certain amount of committed capacity. So what would that look like in your area?
So again, so let's be clear, my cases are misdemeanor and traffic offenses. So our
Okay.
maximum penalty is
Okay.
12 months in jail. That, with that understanding, I'm not going to have people incarcerated just because I can. I recognize that it clogs up the docket when people are coming back and forth to court. And so we're going to look at the reasons. So for instance, if someone is placed on probation and they have a misstep, so there are special conditions associated with those probationary periods, like drug and alcohol testing. And you'll have an instance where someone explained to me that he didn't have the funds to pay for the testing. So he was given a petition for probation revocation. And in this instance, he did not follow the special conditions because he didn't have the funds to test. So he didn't test, right? And that's a violation because he has to test when he's ordered to come in within a specific period of time. So looking at what the alternatives to incarceration in instances like that, I believe is where the judge's discretion, where the judge's compassion, and just real life understanding of people in their community, people in our community, and recognizing that there are alternatives to incarceration, and incarceration does not have to be the catch-all be-all, especially in state court where our maximum is 12 months. As opposed to some of the more serious offenses. We want the jails to be reserved and used and available for those that need to be incarcerated, and in order to keep our public safe, and not a non-serious traffic offender.
Nice. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, Representative Jackson, this one I'm sure a lot of us Georgians want to have your input on. What are your intentions to help with affordable housing in Georgia? Because we know these housing prices, this real estate market is not Georgia prices. We know a lot of it elevated during COVID. We know people in California could sell their house for 1.5 million and come get a bigger house here in Georgia for like 300 or 400, and all that did was elevate the cost of living for the Georgians, which of course also rolled over into rent. So rent is elevated. Whereas a 2-bedroom apartment back in the day could be $800-900. Now you talking $2,000-3,000 a month. So, and of course, this is a very heavy financial burden on families here in Georgia. So, what intentions would you have to help bring this back to reality?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Tammy, and I appreciate it. Unlike any other gubernatorial candidate, I don't have to speak with philosophical, hypothetical language. Mm-hmm. I've introduced legislation to curtail this, right? Bonafide legislation. Now, unfortunately, the Republicans didn't pass it, but I have concrete legislation. So it's a 4-pronged approach to resolving this matter. Number one, we got to stop these big private equity companies. I'm not going to mention them by name because we don't need to give them any kind of advertising. But these big private equity, Wall Street juggernauts, we got to stop them from purchasing houses, right? Because they're driving up the market. They'll buy that $300,000, $400,000 house, Tammy, do a little remodeling, and then jack the price $700,000, $800,000 in 2 months. None of these companies even exist. And the reason why they're doing this because the person that's occupying the Oval Office used to do the same thing. Okay? The person that's occupying the Oval Office used to do the same thing. He'll buy up a property for a couple of million and then inflate it to it's now worth $30 million. Now, wait a minute. You just bought it for $2 million. And now it's $30 million. You ain't had no square footage. And that's why he got in trouble. That's why New York sued his butt, right? But that's number one. These private equity companies, we're going to stop them from coming in, jacking up the market price. Number two, we got a $14.3 billion surplus, Tammy. So what we're going to do, I introduced legislation, and I want to be absolutely clear. House Bill, because I want your listening audience to look it up. I introduced House Bill 1597. That's 1597. Basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of this surplus money, and I'm going to give those families, middle-class families, first-time homeowners, a $30,000 down payment and $15,000 for closing costs. That's a total of $45,000, right? Tax dollars coming back into the community, and that will infuse our economics immediately in our community. So $45,000, $30,000 down payment, $15,000 closing costs. House Bill 1597. So that's number two. We're gonna make sure citizens in Georgia get an access to this American dream.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Citizens in Georgia should have access to the American dream. And so that program is called the Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program. We're going to expand that. That's number two. Number three, 37% of our population in Georgia, Tammy, you've already alluded to it, are renters. So we're going to give renters assistance. Renters assistance should be available. We did it during COVID. We didn't sustain it. Nobody's looking for a handout, but our tax dollars should be able to stimulate the economy. Listen, I'm a PhD candidate, and my thesis is around economic development. So if the middle class is what helped build this country, the middle class is going to help sustain this. So what better way to infuse our economy by giving back to the middle class? So that's number three. And then number four, we got to make sure we don't tax our seniors out of their homes. Hello? This was a microphone. Hello? We got to stop taxing our senior citizens out of their homes. Miss Smith lost her husband. She's 82. He died 4 years ago. Where is Miss Smith going to go? When they bought that house, as my grandmother would say, way back yonder, that house may have cost them $40,000. Today, that same house will cost $500,000. She can't afford a $500,000 house on her Social Security. We got to stop taxing out our seniors. They've already paid it forward. So that's how we're going to deal with this affordability housing. We're going to make sure that the young professionals who want to have a family can get access to the American dream. We're going to make sure the renters who want to rent, because some people don't want to buy, and that's okay. But we need to make sure the 37% of our renters are taken care of. We're going to make sure our senior citizens are not taxed out of their home. Okay? And then number four, I'm glad I had to go back over it. We're going to increase the minimum wage, Tammy. That's why affordability is a problem in Georgia. Anybody want to take a guess? Shelly, Dr. Maya? I know Judge know. So you're exempt, Judge. What's the minimum wage in Georgia? Anybody want to take a guess?
I think it's like $12 an hour.
No, I thought it was like $7 or $8 an hour.
It can't be. I refuse to believe that.
For the last 25 years, $5.15. And if you are in agriculture, in restaurant, and hospitality, it's $2.65. I spoke to a constituent just yesterday. She's a health care technician. She's not a nurse, a health care technician. She's working 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm. And
at the job where I met her, She was at a restaurant earning $2.13 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
There are only 2 states less than $7.25. Georgia is one, and Wyoming. Why in the world is Georgia at the bottom with Wyoming? Wyoming, I could take Wyoming and put it inside of Atlanta by itself. That's how small Wyoming is.
Can I move that for 2 seconds back to, so imagine that as your income and then coming to court and being placed on probation, right? And having to pay. So there's a gentleman, he started in the accountability court for DUI accountability court, paying $400 and something a month for 14 months, he indicated. And then he had a misstep. So he either did not test or tested positive for having it in his system, no longer in the program, and was placed on probation, to where he is back paying $400 and something a month. If you can just, and so this is the real life and the practical realities of decisions made in court and how it affects people's everyday life. That's in most instances a car note, right?
Yeah.
So 14 months in the program and now out of the program. And then I asked, so when's he going to be off? And the response was, he's wondering the same thing. He still hasn't received that answer yet as to when this ends. And I said, again, state court is 12 months is the maximum. And so what that means is there has to be some other thing that's going on that's having this extended consequences for his actions. And so we've got to look at that. We have I guess a legal term, consecutive and concurrent. So the sentences can be run consecutive, which is one after the other, or concurrent together. And so that's one of the things we're going to look at in state court and make some changes, right? Again, with the attempt to build bridges and not barriers.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for those responses. Sahara asks Representative Jackson, could he name a few qualifications for the renters?
Yeah, so I don't have my legislation in front of me, but for starters, if you are a single parent, and I was very clear not to say single mother, because I know of some friends who are single dads, right? But if you are a single parent, and if you can show where over 50% of your net income is going to be negatively impacted and create a hardship, you can get a renter's assistance. And so it may be up to $1,000. So let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, that your rent at your 2-bedroom, like you said, Tammy B, is $2,500, but you're earning a minimum wage, and now you have a special needs child, or you got child care, or whatever the case may be, or you lost your job, then whatever that hardship, whatever created that hardship, and it's going to take your net income over the 50%, which I consider as a hardship. You got more money going out than you got coming in, then you can get that $1,000 renters assistance program. So that way, instead of you paying $2,500 for your rent, you're paying $1,500. So this is not like Section 8 or HUD. It's not a federal program. It will be a state program that yours truly will enact. I'm the only one that's talking about renters assistance.
So what if it's just a single person that comes upon
Maya, I was thinking the same thing.
Right, because everybody don't have kids. So what if it's someone that's single and still need help?
Yeah, so Dr. Maya, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I was just giving the common scenario, but if you're a young professional, again, take any one of my young adults, right? Out of the 7, only one of them are married. And so if they are just starting off and all of a sudden, they got to start paying their college loan, right? 6 months after you finish. So all these bills are going to start adding up. And so if you're a single professional and your outgoing is greater than 50% than your incoming, you will qualify as well. You don't have to have children. You don't have to be married. So the same thing, the same math applies.
Okay.
There's no discrimination. Again, it's equality and equity. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. So let me add to this topic, the financial topic as well, because this is a question that I've also had. And then Shelly, Maya, I'll give you opportunity to ask. So a while back, I know there were talks about Georgia possibly removing the state tax, but it was reported that the Democrats voted it down. However, other neighboring states don't pay state taxes. What are your opinions and thoughts on that? And is that screened information put out by the Republicans?
Yeah, it's the latter, Tammy. It's the latter. For the listening audience, the Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, and right now, they control the governor's mansion. So they got the trifecta. They got the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion in Georgia. Mm-hmm. So if the Republicans want to pass something, they can. They got the numbers to do it. In the House, it's 180 of us. You only need 91 votes. They got 100 of them. Okay? Right now. So slowly but surely, we get closer to 91. So we only have 80 Democrats in the House, and in the Senate, it's the same thing. There's 56 in the Senate, and right now they only have 23 senators. You need 26, really 27, to get anything passed. In Georgia, we only got 23 Democrats. So the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion. So what they're telling you, Tammy, that the Democrats didn't do this, the Democrats didn't that. No, they're the driver of this bus for right now until we get a Governor Jackson, all right, in that governor's mansion, and a First Lady Camilla Jackson to be the First Lady. We'll stop this madness. But the Republicans do a phenomenal job, as we stated on the onset of your show. Misinformation and disinformation. They're the masters at it.
What are your views?
Sounds like a lot of gaslighting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Representative Jackson, what are your views on no state taxes anymore?
Yeah, so great question, Dr. Maya. I'm taking a surgical approach, right? I'm not saying let's go from 0 to 100 overnight. No, let's take a moderate approach. So what we would do under Governor Jackson, teachers, educators, military veterans, and those who are over the age of 65 will get state income tax exempt. Those 4 groups.
See, I don't feel that's fair.
Teachers. Well, here, right? See, because we're going to do this slowly and gradually, and so we don't want to break the bank overnight, because when you break the china, it's hard to get Elmer's glue, Dr. Maya, and put everything back together. So one of the things I learned in the United States Navy for my 22 years in the Navy, 10 years in corporate America, and 10 years as a legislator, you go very slow and make adjustments as we go along. And then, because the economy, we don't know. Because
Hold on. You breaking up, sir. We're not hearing you. Hold on. Uh-oh. Representative Jackson. Hold on. You sounding like a computer, so we're not hearing what you're saying, and I think you done froze up on us. Do me a favor, leave and come back again, because I think your screen has frozen and you sound like a computer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we lost him for sure.
So while we wait on him to come back, Judge Naelia, did I say it correctly?
You did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Question: how long have you been a judge in Fayetteville?
In Fayetteville, so I am
County.
right. So overall, I've been a judge for just under 10 years now. I started judging in 2014. In
Okay.
2019, I became a pro temp judge in municipal court in the city of Fayetteville. And I stayed there till 2021. When I left, I was a municipal court chief judge. I went back to the DA's office from 2021 to 2023 and then came back out. And so since then, I am not in Fayetteville anymore. I'm currently an associate judge in the municipal court of Jonesboro. And then I'm a pro temp judge in Clayton County's state court and juvenile courts. So I help them out when their primary judges are not able to be on the bench.
Okay.
And so I'm running to become a full-time judge in the county in which me and my family reside.
Okay. And I only asked, I used to be a resident of Fayetteville for years. And I did love it until I had encounters with their law out there. It wasn't favorable to us at all. And I didn't like that. So it's refreshing to see some of us move in that direction. That's why I asked.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. My question would be, what does effective leadership looks like to you in a politically divided climate? That's one. And two, how will you remain? Well, I think I asked you that one. How will you remain accountable and accessible? I think I did ask that question.
So I will tell you, Fayette County is growing in so many ways, and it reminds me of where I grew up, right? Initially, and it was a small community in a big city. However, we were diverse in look, diverse in economic status, just very diverse, but we had certain things in common. And those things included taking care of one another, making sure our seniors and our children were safe, making sure our community was safe to live, work, and play in. And so Fayette County reminds me of that same thing. I think it's one of the best decisions, my family and I made over 10 years ago. And so I want to bring that to our courts. I want to make sure, once again, that everyone is being treated fairly, being seen and heard when they come into the courts. I am professional, I am efficient, and I am ready on day one to serve all of Fayette County and not just a select few.
Okay.
Love it. Great responses. So let me read the chat real quick. So B. Campbell Nails, as a veteran, I can appreciate, she was talking about when Representative Jackson, Queen, I might have to have you on in November when I do my Veterans Day episode. So got to stay in touch with you on that. And Tutsi, if I'm pronouncing it right, Judge Naelia is an amazing judge, very fair, very caring. So love that. And Cola Eat a Great put, the children are definitely the future, and we must invest, nurture, and make this a balanced playing field for our future and the next generations, because they are the future lawmakers, etc. And I agree with that. I agree. All right. I think he's still having some technical difficulties. Shelly, did you have anything pop into mind yet?
Yeah, I had a lot pop into mind, but I need him to come back because I know what he said is not correct or factual. I don't want to go too hard, but I'll wait for him. But to honorable judge, I have a question for you.
Yes,
With
sir.
Georgia being, I don't want to call it a melting pot, I hate that term, but so many people coming in here from so many different states. What is your thoughts or the goal, kind of like to make the laws fit kind of like everywhere, or to lessen the laws, and specifically with the medical marijuana?
So understanding again that state court handles, and I don't think we had a chance to go over it. So just so you understand, state court handles traffic offenses, misdemeanors on the criminal side. And so those misdemeanors and traffic offenses have a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail, $1,000 fine. In some instances, the fine could be up to $5,000. On the civil side, we handle most matters if there's a financial dispute, money dispute, and the dispute is over something more than $15,000. Or like credit card debt, and you're being sued by the credit card company. So debt, and then also disputes like, car accident, and the people are not able to resolve it outside of court, someone would sue. So those are our primary, and we also handle appellate matters from magistrate court. Okay, so those are the primary cases. And I have to say that so that you understand that some of the things that you are asking of does not fit within the state court purview, including medical marijuana, because the marijuana oil is marked as or looked at as a felony if right now, if you don't have your medical card for it. So that would be outside of state court.
Okay, now the reason why I asked that is because two things. One, in the county I reside in, Douglasville, when we first moved here, and this is a matter, just your opinion on that. One of my child had, maybe a man who'd been here a few months, had got a no insurance ticket. No insurance ticket, they took a deal and got probation for a year. In the middle of the probation, the judge found out that we had just moved here from Colorado and immediately UA'd him. The UA came back negative for marijuana and gave him 10 days in jail. And so even after explaining, he still was like, so what, it's illegal here. So that's one. And then the second one, as far as civil matters, what is your stance on like squatters and stuff?
So let me go. Okay, so in terms of the law, marijuana, any of those things, I am a judge that believes in following the law. So what I think has to happen is just like Representative Jackson was saying, there has to be laws that are changed if there is going to be marijuana legalization in the state of Georgia. So we want to look at that. Like I said, in terms of punishment, we're going to look at what we can do from a state court perspective when those matters come before us. If there is a addiction problem, people suffer from drug addiction, disease, we will look at that and see if there is a way to get them back on track. But as it stands today, we know that marijuana is illegal, so we need to make sure that our citizens are adhering to it. And if there is a consensus, much like alcohol, where we believe as a nation or as a state that is no longer the case, then the books need to reflect that so that the judges are not taking matters into their own hand. Because again, that is a part of what we're seeing now. The law says one thing and people are trying to circumvent that and kind of do their own thing. Now we know the lawlessness is what's causing, will cause or continue to cause chaos. So we want to abide by the rules and laws that are in place and govern ourselves accordingly. Now, the second half of your question, go ahead and ask it to me one more time so I make sure I have it correct.
I just know that Georgia's having a large issue with squatters. It's been on the news several times, and I know that in Georgia, filing deeds and claiming property doesn't require IDs to do such a thing, or any. There's nothing governing that section of it.
So again, we've got to look at what laws are on the books, what laws are in place, and what can we do to tighten those. I have that view where I'm able to see from a landlord and a tenant's perspective. From a landlord's perspective, matter of fact, ironic you're asking the question. I just spoke to someone yesterday who was explaining to me how she used to have a home that she rented out, and it took a significant amount of time for the person, the squatter that was in her home, to be removed because she started filing bankruptcy and all of these things. And she had to, during that time, pay for where she was living as well as the property that was being rented. So we need to look at that. I know Representative Jackson spoke about some assistance, renters assistance. There may be some instances where they would also look at, if people brought it to them, look at landlord assistance, right? Because we want homeowners and we want people to be able to do business in that way, but we want it to be done responsibly. So the idea is, again, if there is a law in place, we want to follow the law. If there are laws that need to be revisited and looked at, revised so that it works for both landlords and tenants, that's what we need to do. And so same thing, if people are not supposed to be in property, the hope is that we will do what needs to be done in order to restore, return the property to the rightful owner, but doing it correctly, because we also recognize that there are some landlords that are not truthful or not doing the things that they need to do as well. So we want to make sure that it's balanced, make sure that people have their day in court, and that the decisions that are rendered reflect the law that is in place.
As of squatters, though,
Mm-hmm.
we're saying and I'm not for sure that's what you're speaking of, Shelley, but the owner of the property did not have an actual lease with them. They just seen an empty property and moved in. And then now that person is trying to fight for their property back, their home back, which is theirs and not the squatters.
Yeah. And so we would, again, look at the laws. There's still rules that govern that. Magistrate court is the primary court that handles dispossessories. But the state of Georgia has the law in place that even if someone is unlawfully on a residence, on a property after a particular amount of time, there is still a legal process that has to be taken in order for them to be removed from that property. Unfortunately, but that is the law and that is the process. And again, on the flip side of that, I've seen instances where people label others as squatters when they have been allowed to move into the residence by someone that was rightfully there. That person has left. The person that they let come in didn't want to leave or didn't leave and no longer had to because they met that requirement for the number of days they stayed there to have mail going there. And so you got to go through the process. You understand? So some people say they're squatters, but they may not be, right? So the laws are there to protect everyone. And so when you go through the proper process, the judge is supposed to be able to sift through that and make a determination based on the law and the facts that are presented. So the moral of the story is, we just have to be mindful about people and our property, right? Making sure that we are managing our property, who's in and out of our property, making sure that if we have tenants, that we are clear about the rules, and the contract in terms of the lease, who can be there, who's not, what in the lease says is a actionable or a termination, immediate termination lease, those kind of things. And that'll help protect a little bit more while the rules or the laws are being refined.
Yeah, Georgia is a state that it's hard for you to have dual residency. Because if you're not in your home, just say it's your home. You're paying your mortgage on it or it's paid off, however it is. It's yours legally. And you choose to move somewhere else. And you may be here 45 or 60 days and at your other residency, a squatter can just come in and move in. You have no idea who it is. And to me, it's just not fair to the homeowner to say, well, we got to go through all of this. Well, you wasn't there. They got mail coming in, into that residency. And it's like, okay, well, it's my property. I keep it up. The grass is cut, everything. I'm doing everything right on my end, but they just noticed that no one is there every day. And we're just going to move into their house and we'll go through the paperwork to move out.
I would suggest one of the things now that we have those Ring cameras, or
Mhm.
cameras inside the home when you know you're going to be gone for an extended period of time, maybe installing those things so that you're able to see, activity at the home, so that that
Mhm.
is not established. And, immediately upon noticing someone entering into your home, the authorities can be called, and that sort of thing. So there are things in place, or measures that can be put in place to help homeowners. But I think on the flip side of that is allowing people to have their day in court to ensure that this is the situation as you present it, and not a way to get a lawful tenant out quicker.
Mhm.
So it's that balance.
Right.
Okay. All right, ladies, and let me interrupt you. Representative Jackson is back. So, Shelley had a question for you, sir, and then Hillary and I were just texting. So if you get disconnected, what we can do is just have you call my cell phone, and I'll put you on speaker, and we'll let you finish it out from there. But Shelley had a question for you, or comment. So I'll give you an opportunity, Shelley. Can you hear us okay, Mr. Jackson?
You're on mute, Shelley. Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's
making
frozen
sure.
again.
Representative Jackson, can you hear me? Can you say something so we can make sure you hear us?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Okay.
All right,
Just
Hillary.
and just
Yeah,
while
let him
you
know
work
to
with
call
that
me, and
judge,
I'll put him on speaker.
Okay.
please forgive my memory. In your 50s, it goes away. But you're running for what again? Tell me what you're doing again now.
Yes, sir. Fayette County State Court Judge.
Oh, okay.
Fayette County. And I want to say, while I have a moment, that the state court judges race ends May 19th.
Mm,
So please make sure that you go out and vote before that time. Our race does not go until November.
mm.
The judges' races end May 19th. Early voting starts on Monday as well. So please make a plan to vote. Now, Elliot
Yeah,
McFarland for Fayette County State Court Judge.
yeah. I see that. That's the thing. I wish there was a way we could get the word out more, because that's the election that matters. Too many of us only vote for presidential race and complain about everything when everything starts in your local area.
Mhm.
And definitely, from listening to you, I definitely hope you get that seat. We definitely need more like you in there, but we do got to find a way to get us to the polls for these type of things, because we won't vote and then complain about who's sitting at the bench and why they don't look like us or consider us in our situation.
Well, I certainly appreciate this platform, because this is certainly one of the ways in which we can use to inform people on a larger scale. The other thing that's important to note is that we have 3 ballots, at least in Fayette County. We have the nonpartisan ballot, which all the judges are going to be on. We have the Democratic ballot, and then we have the Republican ballot. If there is a local race, a race that is partisan, a representative that is either a Democrat or Republican, and you want to vote for them, you have to choose a ballot in order to do that. If you choose a nonpartisan ballot, the only races that are going to be on that ballot are the judges' races.
Hmm. Good to
Yeah,
know.
and that's another
Okay.
thing. So, encourage people to check the ballots beforehand. Their local voter registration office has the sample ballots available now. They can simply type it, Google it from their phones, click on it, and they're able to see who are on each of the ballots. The judges are going to be on all 3. But if you want for the local, for the other races, you have to pick, or party, one that is a partisan race. You need to pick a party.
All
And
right,
just
guys.
for the people, just sorry, Kathy, just for the people, their registration to vote for presidential also qualifies them to vote in the local elections too, correct?
Correct.
Okay, because I know a lot of people I talk to don't know that. They think They say they didn't vote because they wasn't registered for those elections.
Yeah, so if you are currently registered to vote, meaning you registered before the April 20th deadline, you should be able to vote for the May 19th election and also any runoffs and any elections in November. But I would encourage people to consistently check. I don't know when the next purge will be, but they have been purging, so you want to check regularly.
All right, thank you guys. All right, so I have Mr. Jackson, Representative Jackson on speaker. So Shelley, what question did you have for him? Or comment that you said that you disagreed with what he said?
Well, it wasn't a question. It was just that I don't like how they say that how the Republican Party controls the House, which is true, which is fine. But each bill that we were talking about, the taxing, all that, the Democrats unanimously voted against it, whether they had a chance to win or not. And everything has come out, like as far as the big, beautiful bill, all that bill was for growing the middle class, tax breaks, everything for the middle class. But it also, the part that the Democrats don't like, and I wanted his opinion on, is that it took away from government benefits, and not in the sense of reducing them, just putting restrictions on them. And how does he feel as far as fighting fraud in our system for stamps and everything else, government assistance, because the fraud is the problem, and I think that's the concern of the other side of his party, of the bird.
So I appreciate the question, Shelley. So let me unpack what you just stated. And unfortunately, you can't see my face because I'm frowning. The way our government system is constructed, we all know the party majority or minority party, depending on who's the majority, controls the legislation.
Right.
Very end of story. Now, you can talk about checks and balance. We can talk about divided government. We can talk about all that. But right now, the Republican Party at the federal level and at the state level here in Georgia have the control in the governor's mansion, the House, and the Senate. So whatever legislation they want to pass at the federal level or state level, they can do it. Now, there's some procedural things that we can do to slow it down, but we can't prevent it. Because I can guarantee you, if the Democrats at the federal level could have prevented the big ugly bill, they would have. There's no way the big ugly bill is going to add nearly between $3 trillion to $6 trillion to the national deficit in the next 10 years. We as Democrats would never do that. And we know we would.
But it already is, as far as tariffs and everything, he's gotten more money than anybody back to our country where it belongs.
No, my dear friend. So let's keep with the facts, because nobody, we can have our own opinions, but we can't create our own facts. When Bill Clinton was in office, during his 8 years, we had a surplus. We were paying down on the national debt that Ronald Reagan created and old man Bush created. So 8 years during President Clinton's tenure, we all know we created a surplus. And we know this to be true because when young Bush got into office, him and Dick Cheney blew a hole through the budget during their 8 years. And then we created a Great Recession. Barack Obama in 2009, the only thing the Republicans told him that we're going to give you is $900 million. Barack asked for $1 trillion. They said, no, we're going to give you $900 million because it would be unprecedented to give any president $1 trillion. So Barack said, okay, we're going to take this $900 million and we're going to place a gamble on the middle class. And they did that. And we got out of the Great Recession from 2008 to all the way to 2016. And we created...
But you got to remember, he did that because he cut funding to HBCUs and everything like that. The money came from somewhere.
Yeah, the money came from the Fed. That $900 million. Yes, sir, you're right. But what happened? We got out of recession, and by the time he left office in 2017, not only Wall Street went from a Dow of 6,000 to 20,000. NASDAQ.
Right, but I'm talking programs that benefit us, not those that benefit the country, because we all know the country has never helped us.
Inserting that $900 million in the middle class.
That's irrelevant. The deficit of the United States, our situation as minorities has been the same regardless of who's in office. So our focus is just on the cuts that impact us as a community, HBCUs, Social Security, welfare, things of that nature. And if we have...
So what do you think the big ugly bill did? The big ugly bill...
It eliminated fraud and it put timelines on welfare. It eliminated fraud and put timelines on welfare. And nobody wanted that.
Shelly, don't do that, Shelly.
Well, I mean, it's a fact. It's just a fact.
No, sir, I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that. There's no way in God's green earth you can convince me that the big ugly bill is doing what you articulated. What the big ugly
I'm
bill
not saying the
done,
big ugly bill is. I just said the difference between when it comes to funding, what gets cut, and it's always our programs that get cut.
I'm just giving
regardless
you
of who's doing it.
The last 30 years of data. When Democrats get into the office, we surgically infuse dollars in the middle class, and that economy grows. Bill Clinton did it, Barack Obama did it, and
right.
Joe Biden
and welfare grows too, though.
No, sir.
Welfare grows too, and that's the problem.
Shelly, no.
The criminal system, the laws change for us as well.
No. Bill Clinton put into effect that you could only be on welfare for 5 years. And
he also imposed the 3 strikes, and him and his wife did the mandatory minimum, which affected us mainly.
Oh, come on, Shelly. You okay? So here, Tammy B.
That's
this
a
is
fact,
another
though.
classic. Tammy B. This is another classic.
I'm bipartisan, so I don't care about either side. I mean, I do care, but
this is another classic. When we start talking about apples, then all of a sudden you want to start talking about pineapples and grapes and bananas.
Yeah, because we're the pineapples. We do want to talk about that. And from Kamala and Barack, both said they're not doing nothing specifically for us, which our concern is us. I think the world has shown that every other race is well taken care of but us. So our concern is for us as citizens and as the voting population. Despite what the news shows, our concern is for us because we're the ones losing.
Okay. All right, Shelly. So let's do this. And I'm trying to get back on computer data because you guys see my face. Let's talk about, we can talk about economics, or we can talk about criminal justice reform. But we can't mix the two. I'm not going to allow for you to do that to Tammy B's audience. So let's talk about your initial point. Your initial point to me was around the economics. Right? Correct. And all I'm sharing with you, I'm starting with the big, beautiful bill, and I'm sharing with you that it's going to blow a hole in our national debt, number one.
Okay, that doesn't affect us. But if immigrants are coming in and taking our welfare and we're not getting nothing, that's what affects us. We're not worried about the debt.
I know the Republican Party is not worried about the debt. You're right.
Yeah.
I agree. The Republican Party,
Right.
not simply the Republican Party, do not give a hoot about the damn debt. Because if y'all
That's
did,
because we run it. There's nothing they can do.
Our
We're not work. But I'm talking about us as a people. My main concern, and not that doesn't matter Republican or Democrat Party. It's not a Republican or Democratic thing. We have to stop dividing us as a people because of that, families don't speak to families now over who voted for who. So our main focus is what is going to benefit us, and I'm going to say it specifically as a people. Which one of our people are working for us, like their people are specifically working for them, be it the LGBT, be it the Asian, be it whichever community you're talking about. Every community is specifically working for themselves except for us.
Well, we can't work together if we're not united, Shelley. And so the only way we can move as a people is to be united. Our ancestors.
And you see what happened even today with the Southern Law, the Southern Law Group. That was for us. We have to take care of home first. That's just a fact.
No. Okay. Again, you're mixing apples and oranges here. The groups, that's like saying the NAACP is not for us.
They're not.
And that would be false.
It's not false. What have they done for us?
What do you mean? Since 1909,
they did integration and all that, and that's been proven that hurt us. Even Martin Luther King said he wished he didn't do it.
Kelly.
All right, guys. I think we've reached. We're at. No, well, I don't know, Judge. I mean, I'm sorry, Representative. We might have to have you come back because I
need to come back.
And that's why I didn't want to say nothing, just because of the time and the system was not working.
Yes,
it's very important what he's saying because it's true, but it's still...
Okay, so let me do this. Let me get with Hillary. Let's schedule for you to come back and hopefully the technology will be working because I don't want to keep people too late on here because I see where you and Shelley are take this into the midnight hour.
because we're both right. That's why we're both correct. So
let me ask this question real quick. A Soldier's Dream asks, can the question be asked again? Just this is for you, Representative Jackson, regarding your thoughts about the fraud of government assistance. This was a chat member who asked this question regarding your thoughts about the fraud of government assistance. So, and that'll be our last question for tonight.
Yeah. So listen, is there fraud? Yes. To what degree and how big is not much. I would be more concerned with a sitting president that's enriching his family with $4 billion.
Oh, what?
That's a concern for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
The $4 billion that this administration that is the greatest thrift fraud I ever seen in this country. No sitting president should be able to enrich themselves with billions and billions of dollars. That's number one.
Every president, especially who walked on down, came into office making minimum and left it hundreds of millions.
And it's not like it was 20, 30 years ago. We have safeguards in place. We conduct audits. We make sure that when an individual places information on their forms, please understand, this goes back to a question with Dr. Maya asking me about renter's assurance or anything else that we've been talking about. The government has a responsibility to taxpayers to make sure fraud and scam and everything else that's out there is mitigated. And our system double check to make sure we put measures in place to reduce fraud. But there's always going to be one individual or several folks that's going to find some workaround system and create a mockery of the entire system. But I don't want your listening audience to think that there's this massive fraud and scam that's happening across the United States, and those who are receiving SNAP benefits or on welfare or government assistance are doing something criminal on a massive
over $1 billion
scale.
alone in Minnesota.
That's not the case. We might find one or two individuals out of 1,000 that's trying to defraud the government.
Group was 11 or 12
it's no
million.
different than white collar crime. Somebody's trying to defraud. We just did our taxes, right? And somebody going to try to defraud paying their fair share of taxes. But right now, to answer Shelley's point, you cannot tell me how incredulous it is to watch a sitting president enrich themselves with billions and billions of dollars and breaking the law right before our eyes. That's like watching a bank robber walk into the bank with no mask and just hand the teller a note and say, give me $1 million, and then walk right out. And the cops are standing right there at the door and just let them walk right out. That's what
y'all can only give scenarios. You can't say how or what he did different from any Democratic president. Every president, Democrat or Republican, came in office worth 10, 11 million and left worth hundreds of millions. Every single one. Even Biden put his son. His son was in Russia. That's who the colluding was. And even in Fulton County alone, as far as fraud, there was only 300,000 registered voters. There was 340,000 who voted. There's fraud everywhere. That's why they got raided. And the Democratic Party was mad at that.
This is classic. When I hear from those on the right side trying to
I'm not on the right. These are facts that you can Google right now. These aren't my opinion.
That is not the case.
Okay.
No, sir.
You're speaking opinion.
All right. So let's do this.
Let's schedule. But I want us to talk face to face because that's my brother from another mother. We both travel light, and that ain't nothing but love. And I want him there more than anybody on the planet. Believe me.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. Let me bring this in. This conversation. I knew it would be a good one. So I'm so grateful, Judge. I'm so grateful, Representative, for you, chat. Thank you guys for being so active with us tonight. So let me do this. Judge McFarland, can you please tell the people how they can follow you, support you, in this journey? Can you tell them how they can get in contact with you?
Thank you. And yes, I will do that. I just, want to make sure that Mr. Sims and Representative Jackson have an opportunity to, complete their discussion so that people are well informed, have the facts so that they can make an informed decision when it's time to go to the polls. So I'm looking forward to viewing that part too. Again, I am Nyelia Grant McFarland. I am running for Fayette County State Court Judge. I am a judge that is ready on day one to build bridges and not barriers for our Fayette County community by being professional, consistent, and efficient. I want to make sure that each and every person is seen and heard when they enter into the courtroom. I can be contacted through my Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, what's the other one? TikTok, and I even have an X account thanks to my children. I can, you all can learn more about my campaign at electjudgenyieliagrantmcfarland.com, and all of those social media platforms. If you Google my name, should come up for you. How you can help. Guys, if you are a Fayette County resident, I ask that you would go to the polls and vote for me. Okay. How you can help today. You can donate to the campaign so I can get my information out to as many people as possible here in Fayette County so that they know that I am running, that there is a judge that is ready on day one to serve them. And then we also have opportunities if people are not able or willing to do that to join the campaign. They can make calls with me and they can also knock doors with me because we're doing those things all the way through May 19th. Again, to make sure that each and every voter here in Fayette County knows that I am running and I'm running for them. Thank you for this opportunity, Ms. Tammi B, Ms. Harrell, and Mr. Sims. I certainly appreciate you all for your time, your viewers as well. Again, I am Nyelia Grant McFarland. I choose Fayette today and every day, and I ask Fayette County to choose me. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to, because Representative Jackson, I got one more chat question for you, but I'm gonna let you close it out. So Dr. Maya, any final words, and also let the people know about you and the amazing work that you're doing and how they can get in contact with you as well. You muted.
Okay. You are a breath of fresh air, Judge Nyelia. Correct. Thank you for
Got it right again.
coming to Fayette County. I really appreciate that, just from a personal stance. I do. I look forward to you becoming the judge that you will win. Thank you, Representative Jackson, for your enlightenment, and I do hope that you win the office that you're running for. You can contact me at drmayaharrell@gmail.com. If you're needing support and you're in any domestic violence situations, please give me an email. I can be reached on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Dr. Maya Harrell, or Bruce B&B. And thank you, Tammi. Great show tonight.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you for your support. Shelly. Final words. Shelly. And guys, I told y'all Shelly was quiet, but when he gets started, I gave forewarning. But Shelly,
he's gonna pull them facts up and tell you where he got them from.
Let me just go ahead with everybody knows anything real estate. You can definitely reach me at rems.homes or at shellyjsims@gmail.com. Anything residential, any question, any whatever. As far as to the judge, definitely get out there and get her in office. We need her. I appreciate you. Love it. And to the representative, help y'all. Make sure y'all go out there and get him in office too. We need us in office, no matter where we come from, what we like, what we agree on, what we disagree on. Everybody has a winning angle for somebody. It's not designed for everyone to win. It's not designed for everyone to be happy. You can't please all the people all the time. So let's get out there and vote. Get both of these people where they need to be. And I can almost guarantee, because I can hear it and feel it, we will see the change here in Georgia. But real estate wise, get at me, Judge, the rep. You know, I know y'all buying in big houses. Come holler at me.
I love it. Thank you, Shelly. Okay, so Representative Jackson, like I said, I am going to get with Hillary and we're going to get you back on here. Look, we may have to do a Saturday session or something, so everybody not trying to rush and go to bed. So maybe we might do something like that. So let me work with her on that. But if not, I'll bring you back on a Wednesday. But so as you get ready to close out, sir, there's a question in the chat I would like for you to address, and then I want you to let the people know, just like the judge did, how they can get in touch with you, how they can support you on this drive to get you at that governor's mansion, because I'm going to come to the governor's party and dance in your honor.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Look, Shelly, yeah, we all gonna be there. So okay,
yeah,
so
we still together regardless.
Say that again, Shelly.
I said we still together regardless. That's
Absolutely.
what brothers do. We get into it.
Absolutely. I love it. Family is family. So with everything that has been said, what do they tell those who feel discouraged to vote? And hold on, let me say, we must do our due diligence, like Madam Judge said, to educate ourselves. Absolutely. So with everything that has been said, what do you guys tell people that feel discouraged to vote?
You know, thank you for that question. And I'm going to answer the question in this way. You know, our ancestors didn't have much, but they did a lot. So I'm asking everyone who feel hopeless or discouraged or have a great deal of anxiety, don't trust the system, trust your power. Whatever that power is. See, my power is comes from Most High. From the Most High. I thank God Almighty. That's where my power comes from. My power comes from when I look at my beautiful wife, Kamia, right? After a long day, Tammy B, that's where my power comes. When I look at my 4 daughters and my 3 sons, that's where my power. So whatever that power is, trust that. Trust that. Trust your power. Listen, I would tell you, John Lewis, and I love quoting John Lewis and a few other greats, but John Lewis taught us something. He said, when something's not right, not fair, unjust, we have a moral obligation to do something. So whatever you think your moral obligation to do something beyond yourself, find that greater call. Tammy B, you created a platform where we can share differences of opinion, but still shake hands. Still say, yes, I look forward to fellowshipping with you and break bread. That's a beautiful, balanced platform that you created, Tammy B. I will also have one more quote, because I think it's very fitting. I can't just give John Lewis, but James Baldwin said it. He said, nothing can be changed until it is faced.
That's right.
So we gotta be the change that we're looking to encounter.
Yes.
Right? So that's the reason why I'm running to become the next governor of Georgia. Right? It's great for me to have a conversation with Dr. Maya and Tammy B and Shelly and Judge and say, I've learned something within myself. Right? And that's the reason why, Tammy B, that Georgia deserves a leader with an understanding and a discipline to solve some tough problems and realize I cannot be the sole person. It's going to take an army of us. And as the strongest progressive Democrat in this race, my mother built me for this opportunity.
Yes.
She took her only son with a speech impediment, and he became a naval officer. He became a corporate executive at a place called General Electric, where you have to be the top of your class to work at a Fortune 50 company. She raised a son to be a state legislator for 10 years by herself. That's where my power is. For those who put and instill those things inside of me. And that's the reason why my 5 priorities have been the same, Tammy B. For the 10 years I've been under that gold dome. I'm going to focus on family quality of life. I'm prioritizing families, making sure that they have a livable wage, accessible to child care, that can get a part of this American dream. Affordability shouldn't be just a luxury for the few. We should have a playing field where women earn the same pay as a man, regardless of our skin color, regardless of our zip code, urban, suburban, or rural. That's the kind of governor I'm going to be. We need to make sure that we stay alive, though, because the good Lord is the Alpha and the Omega. But He gave us capability and the capacity, so we got to show our level of humanity through healthcare. Healthcare should be a human right. Why are women dying at an alarming rate, especially Black women? Why are Black men dying at an alarming rate for prostate cancer? Because they can't find a urologist, or a woman can't find an OBGYN. Tammi B, we can fix this problem.
Yes.
But we got to be together, as I shared with Shelly. We got to be united. Because in the end, when a loved one lives and a loved one dies, I don't care if you're white, black, Republican, or Democrat. We're all going to grieve. And so it's responsibility of the federal government and the state government to do our part, to do what I have recited for the 17th time I did the oath. The oath doesn't have an expiration for me. And last but not least, you can follow me on Facebook and TikTok. I'm all things Derrick Jackson. If you don't see the person with the bow tie, it ain't me. The bow tie is my trademark, just like Frederick Douglass. The bow tie. When I walk into the room, the very first thing a lot of folks notice, Tammi B, is my bow tie. So it was great to be with you all. Tammi B, thank you for having me on your show. It was great to share the platform with Dr. Maya and Shelly and my dear friend Judge, the next state court judge right here in Fayette County.
Yes.
I look forward to it. And you can go to my website, voteDerrickJackson.org. That's vote Derrick, DERRICK Jackson.org. And I thank you, I thank you, and I thank you. And I also want to give a special shout out to my lovely queen, Camilla. She was trying to help me resolve these gremlins best she could. So thank you, Camilla, for trying to help me out. And next time, we're going to be ready.
Yes. And tell her I thank her as well. I appreciate her. I appreciate you guys. This was such a great show. And I'm so grateful and honored that you all, joined us tonight. So thank you, guys. Thank you both, Judge. Thank you, Representative. I'm so grateful for you guys. And so, as I go ahead and bring this to a close, I appreciate those who are still with us, patience. And I do have to ask, A Soldier's Dream, you are so supportive of us. Next Men's Talk next month, I'm bringing the ladies back to the panel. If you want to be on that panel with me, please DM me or email me, thassawoman@gmail.com. I wanted to extend the invite to you because you're always with us. So guys, I have a monthly Men's Talk, and last week the whole panel was put on punishment because the men were off the chain. But so next month the ladies gonna join them. So we do things like this. So listen, I just want to say to everyone, for those who don't know me, I am Tammi B. I am a coach, spiritual mentor, transformational speaker. I would love to work with you as part of your event, or work with you in a coaching session. So you can obtain more information at www.tammib.com. And just real quick to show you guys the flyer, share my screen real quick. Our men's transformational conference taking place Saturday, August 1st, at Studio House, Atlanta, for vendor opportunities, male only vendor opportunities, or to sponsor this event, you can email me at thassawoman@gmail.com. So it's always with so much love and gratitude. I thank everyone so much for you guys being with us. My riders, Shelly, Maya, thank you. I can't express enough love and gratitude for you guys. My viewers, you guys are so amazing. Thank you so much. Judge McFarland, Representative Jackson. Special thanks to Hillary for connecting me with Representative Jackson. And I'll be connecting with her to get a part 2 on the table. Pastor Mary, Grace Church in Fayetteville. Guys, if anybody in Fayetteville or want to make a drive to Fayetteville, amazing pastor, great spirit, love that queen. Thank you so much for connecting me with Judge McFarland. This has been amazing. So listen, I ask always for the free 99. Yes, the free 99. Please support us by clicking on the like button and or sharing this video with others. And that will help us to grow our reach. So next week, we're going to have Dr. Vance back with us. She was voted Miss Corporate America of Fulton County. So she's bringing a young man with, there's going to be a young man with her that did a movie that's out on Tubi on human trafficking. So we're going to have a real deep conversation next week if anybody want to come back and join us. All right. And then on May 13th, we're actually going to have Richard Wright, who is running for lieutenant governor in Georgia, on with us. So if you have questions for him, or those who simply want to know what is it that a lieutenant governor does, he's going to be with us on May 13th. So in closing, I leave you all with this. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. My words that go with that, it's no secret that we are in a time of crisis. The world feels chaotic and uncertain. That's why it's crucial for us to truly know those who lead us, what they stand for, and what they do, and how it impacts our lives. And I'm confident that these two individuals with us tonight will be having our best interests at heart. So definitely get out and support them. We cannot afford to be passive and uninformed, as well as we cannot afford to be silent. This is time for us to ask questions, stay aware, think for ourselves, because justice doesn't just happen. It requires participation. And remember this, and Representative Jackson mentioned it, our ancestors paid a price for our privilege to vote. So please exercise that right, okay? To you all, stay amazing. Peace, love, and blessings. Good night.